Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kennedy Compound. I'm your host, Mark Kennedy, and this is Bold Predictions Week 2. This is the aftermath show where I'll be going over my bold predictions and the actual final scores of those games. And, well, I think I actually did pretty good with a couple exceptions, but yeah, not too bad. Now, some people have asked, how do I come up with these bold predictions? Well, I can't tell my source, but I do have my ways of figuring out who's going to win, who's going to lose, by how much, and what the final score is going to be. So, having said all that, let's move on to this week's results. Number one, we had number 3 Texas at number 10 Michigan. The bold prediction was Texas 27, Michigan 17. The actual final score was Texas 31, Michigan 12. I thought it was going to be at least a competitive game, and well, what I predicted turned out to be kind of true. I felt like Texas had an offense and a defense. I felt like Michigan had defense, and turned out that's actually pretty accurate. Michigan, you're going to need some help with your offense. Texas played an all-around stout game, and well, the game was never in doubt. Texas, you looked really, really good. Michigan, you got problems. Moving on next. This game right here. We had Arkansas at number 16, Oklahoma State. Arkansas had looked really good the week before, and I'm sort of thinking this is the opportunity to make a statement. So the bold prediction, I didn't think Arkansas was going to win. So my bold prediction was Oklahoma State 36, Arkansas 31. Actual final score was Oklahoma State 39, Arkansas 31. So my prediction was actually pretty doggone accurate. But what happened in the game was horrible. Arkansas had like a 21-point lead. With 2 minutes to go, they had each team had opportunities to win this game, both of them. And it was almost like, who wants to lose? I mean, it was a comedy of errors between both teams. Arkansas could have won in regulation in the end. They could have won in overtime then. But Arkansas. So back to the drawing board. The one takeaway I would get from this is Arkansas has got potential to be a good team, but you got to have W's and not L's on your record. So good luck there, buddy. Next up, McNeese State at Texas A&M. And I guess actually they're going by McNeese now. They're McNeese State forever. My bold prediction was Texas A&M 49, McNeese 0. The actual final score was Texas A&M 52, McNeese 10. I don't know where they got the 10 points from. I guess they just let up. There's nothing in this game for Texas A&M to prove. They're just cupcake, get your diabetes, get your win, move on. Nothing to see here. And Texas A&M did what they had to do. Congratulations, you have a W. Next up, we had Tennessee Tech at number 1 Georgia. Y'all, I mean, I think I said this before. This was a pick-em game. When I say pick-em, a pick-em technically means either team could win. When I say pick-em, it means like Georgia can just pick their score. So my bold prediction was Georgia 49, Tennessee Tech 0. The actual final score was Georgia 48, Tennessee Tech 3. It was actually a really, really whatever kind of game. Just there's nothing to this. Georgia did what they wanted to do. They got to 48, and said, "Okay, that's enough." And they left. I didn't even see where they got the 3 points from. Tennessee Tech. I mean, that may be something they hang their hats on. When Georgia is the national champion, they say, "Remember when I scored 3 points against them?" Congratulations. So, well, there you go. Next up, had California at Auburn. And this is one of the two where I I sucked. So, like a better way of putting it. My bold prediction was Auburn 38, California 17. The week before, they looked good. Auburn really did look good. Peyton Thorne was throwing the ball well. They're running the ball well, playing good defense. Admittedly, it's against a cupcake, but they look solid. So, once again, bold prediction, Auburn 38, California 17. Actual final score, California 21, Auburn 17. So, well, I had a 17, but at least had that right anyway. Wrong team. Auburn had 5 turnovers. Peyton Thorne threw four interceptions. I mean, it was not a good look, especially at home. Auburn, you got work to do. You better suck it up and get with the program here. Next up, had South Carolina at Kentucky. The week before, South Carolina had played a game at home against a nothing team struggled to win. Kentucky in 3 quarters stomped Southern Miss, and well, the writing was on the wall. South Carolina's going to win this game, right? My old prediction was Kentucky 38, South Carolina 17. Actual final score was South Carolina 31, Kentucky 6. Nobody understands this game. I mean, even the pundits out there, like the pros, Vegas didn't see this coming. I mean, like something clicked and something unclicked. UK had 44 yards passing in this game. That's not going to do it. Let's see, they were 6 for 17 on attempts and 2 interceptions. I mean, it's like they decided we're just not going to utilize the forward pass this game. Probably wouldn't have mattered. It was an annihilation. I mean, an embarrassment by South Carolina. Congrats to you, Kentucky. This doesn't that did not look good. Did not look good. Next up, we had Middle Tennessee State at Ole Miss. Number 6 Ole Miss in my head, who may or may not have moved up to number 5 this week. They moved up to number 5. Anyway, we'll talk about that more in a minute. Okay, my bold prediction was Ole Miss 56, Middle Tennessee 7. The actual final score is Mississippi. Oh God, I can't believe I did that. Ole Miss 52, Middle Tennessee 3. Things you need to know about this game is Jackson Dart went 24 for 24 passing in this game before he threw an incompletion. He had 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, but the big deal here was Henry Parrish. He ran for 165 yards and 4 touchdowns. And to be honest with you, in this game, Ole Miss, they looked, I told people that they looked like they were just kind of just going through the motions in this game. I mean, they didn't look, there wasn't really any intensity here. And the scary thing is this. They were just, like I said, going through the motions and still just utterly curb stomped this team. That should scare some folks. Next up, we had Buffalo at number 9, Missouri. So this is one of those games where Missouri, just do what you want to do, score what you want to score, whatever. I had Missouri 52-6 over Buffalo. The actual final score was 38 Missouri, 38 Buffalo 0. Why didn't Missouri score a bunch of points? I really just felt like this game, what I could tell is they had their lead, they felt comfortable, let people play, and I don't think they were, you sometimes you see teams when they got a game on the horizon, they don't like to show their cards. I think you saw some of this out of Missouri this week. I mean, they had their lead, they weren't worried, we're going to win, and they just took the foot off the gas. That is what it is. Next up, South Florida at number 4, Alabama. Gump Nation, I've got some news for you. You got some problems. Bold prediction, and my bold prediction was is what it is. I predicted Alabama 42, South Florida 10. The actual final score was Alabama 42, South Florida 16. Now, while my bold prediction was actually pretty doggone close, what you need to know is with 11 minutes to play in the game, this was a 14-13 game. And South Florida had their chances to beat them. I mean, they really did. And that last quarter is one of those things where the bigger, stronger, more physical team finally just said, all right. One team was just worn out. The other team was just the superior team. They just ran over them and blew the score completely out of the roof. Now, my takeaway is this. Alabama, you really flex muscle and look really good there at the last. But you're not going to do this against Tennessee. You ain't going to do this against Texas, and you certainly ain't going to do that against Georgia. You play that game against them, you're going to have 3 SEC losses. I'm just telling you, don't go there. Next game up was Samford at Florida. Now, as you know, Florida's they look really bad. They got mauled by Miami last week. Not only that, their quarterback, Graham Mertz, had a concussion. He's out of the game. So, I mean, you've lost your quarterback. You've been blown out. What do? We bring in freshman DJ Lagway, who throws for 456 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you just destroy a team. My bold prediction was Florida 31, Samford 14. I felt like they were going to win the game. I mean, because it is still Samford, right? Actual final score was 45 by Florida, Samford 7. The impressive thing about this is the freshman looked really good. I know it was against a lesser team, but I mean, he looked sharp. But also, they only give up the 7 points, which means that Florida, I think, being embarrassed in that first game, what worried me against Florida was that they looked like they had literally given up in game 1. Game 2, they showed some life. That's Billy Napier, you're on life support, but hey, y'all look better. So congratulations. Keep it up. Next up was number 14 Tennessee at number 24 NC State. I had this listed at NC State. It's actually as the Duke's Mayo Bowl, as a neutral site. So I screwed that up initially. And that's actually important, by the way, because neutral site games is a lot different than playing at home. But all the same, I expected a good game. My bold prediction was Tennessee 38, North Carolina State 24. I felt like Tennessee would be the assertive team. Like when the game's over, like, Tennessee's better. Well, yeah, that's an understatement. Actual final score was 51, Tennessee 51, NC State was 10. It was complete and utter dominance. It was not a good game. Hold on. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Give me a moment. Give me a moment here. Okay, hold on. Wait, where's that? Okay. Where are you? Where are you? Nico Liame. I can't pronounce his name. Give me another week. All right. So anyway, I'm going to pronounce Nico's name one of these days. Lialami Ave Ding Dong. I don't know. Anyway, he looked pretty good in the game, but he did throw a couple of interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Had some like 211 yards, I think, passing. Tennessee looked good both offensively and looked very good defensively. But Nico, you didn't show Heisman numbers. You look good, but you didn't show Heisman to me. You got to do a little bit better, buddy. I mean, not saying that annihilating a ranked team basically on the road or a neutral site was not good, but you did good. You did good. You live to play another day. Keep on keeping on. Next up was Alcorn State at Vanderbilt. My bold prediction was Vanderbilt 38, Alcorn State 10. Alcorn State. I'm not even sure which way they're going. A lot of these teams are changing their names like that. It's driving me crazy. The actual final score was Vanderbilt 55, Alcorn 7. And the takeaway from this game was this. Their Pravia, however you pronounce his last name, their quarterback, he showed out last week. This week, it wasn't so much he showed out. It's like everybody on the team showed out. I mean, they had so many people, had so many different rushing yards this game. And the defense looked good, too. I mean, it's Alcorn State, right? Or Alcorn, whatever you'll call them. But all the same, it was a very strong, complete game everywhere. Quarterback, running back, defense, everything. That's what you want to see out of the SEC team. So, Vandy, 2-0. Kudos to you, buddy. Next up, we had Nicholls State at number 18 LSU. My bold prediction, and LSU had a loss last week, and so I'm starting thinking they're going to have to, time to do a little flex, right? We need to get a little sour taste in our mouth. Well, my bold prediction was LSU 48, Nicholls 10. The actual final score is LSU 44, Nicholls 21. While my bold prediction wasn't off very much, the thing about this game was it took LSU a little while to pull away. I mean, they won the game, and there's no doubt who the better team was and everything, but it's one of those things where you felt like maybe they had a hangover from last week. I ain't saying LSU's bad, don't get me wrong. But, sometimes when you come off a loss like that, it's hard to get back in gear sometimes. And I think maybe you saw some of that. But all the same, in the end, LSU, well, you did what LSU does. So congratulations. Once again, you move on too. Next up, we had Houston at number 15, Oklahoma. Now, my bold prediction was Oklahoma 38, Houston 10. Oklahoma is supposed to have a really good defense this year. Their offense, I've talked about this and you'll hear me every week. Their offensive line is a wreck, or potentially a wreck. 5 new starters, lost their center. But still, the defense is good, right? The actual final score was Oklahoma 16, Houston 12. Now, Oklahoma did this several times last year. They played some games where, I would say playing down to lesser teams, so to speak. They didn't blow them out. The games are pretty close, but, they won. But I don't know. Oklahoma, you should have done better than this. I expected more, especially at home. Once again, concerns are starting to come up to the top. So you got a little time to figure this out before you have to play Tennessee. You don't want any part of Tennessee. I'm just telling you. And last but not least was Mississippi State at Arizona State. And this was, I already said this. First off, State had a feel-good win the week before. They're all new. I mean, like they got one starter back on offense, new coaches, new everything, whatever. They got a little excitement there, a little enthusiasm. They go out there, and in the first half of this game, I mean, I'm guilty of this. At halftime, I went to bed. It was just a beat down. I cannot tell you how bad Arkansas State was. Hey, you want to run for 20 yards? Hey, get the water boy. He can run for 15 yards. Hey, how about the cheerleaders? I bet they can get 5 yards. They were running all over State, and it was an ugly game of the half. Well, second half, State come out, give them a serious game. The bowl prediction was Arizona State 34, Mississippi State 24. I thought State would play them pretty tough. The actual final score was Arizona State 30, Mississippi State 23. So my score is actually pretty doggone close. What I take away from this game is this. They went out 2 time zones out there, which that alone will mess you up. 2, a road game, which alone can mess you up. To play a team was pretty good, which alone can mess you up. So they had a lot of things stacked up against them. And the fourth thing that was really stacked against them was getting stomped. I mean, stomped in the first half. State, you could have laid down, you could have lost this game 70-0, but you didn't. And it's hard to take, to feel good about a loss, so to speak. But actually, there's some stuff you can take away from this and build on. So congratulations for your loss. I say that not in a bad way. This is something you can build on, keep going. Potential's there, but I'm gonna tell you, if you want to go to a bowl game, there is no blinking. Anyway, so that's our rehash for this week in the SEC Week 2's bowl predictions. I'm gonna try, if I can, before Friday, to put together sort of a like a pecking order, explain a little bit my thoughts where everybody stands in Week 2. If I can, I'll try to get that posted about midweek. And then next Friday, we'll be posting bowl predictions for Week 3. So everybody keep watching these videos. Like and subscribe to these things too, by the way. You'll find out I'm pretty good for the most part, pretty accurate with these things. And once again, I cannot reveal my sources who helps me out with these games. But hey, we do a pretty good job sometimes. So stay tuned, subscribe, and give me some feedback too. If I predict something and you're like, no, you're crazy. Hey, it's okay. Throw your opinion out there. I'm glad to hear it. Anyway, so that's all I've got for this week, folks. We'll see y'all, like I said, hopefully midweek, and then bowl predictions next Friday. Until then, later, everyone.